What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today we're going to be talking none other than something spicy in Japanese Tuesday. We got quite a few lists to talk about, so let's get into Japanese Tuesday like we should. So first off, let's get into it. Let's look at the chart real quick. We have 14.5% on Apoplecticmon being still the top contender. Anubis at 10.5%. Purple Blue Garurumon at 9.4%, and then Bloomlord at 6.2%, and then SOC went to 5.1. Kind of crazy. Bloomlord came out of nowhere and started just bringing in tops left and right, so it outclassed SOC in the data. So you can definitely see that 11 tops as of last week for Bloomlord kind of pushed it all the way into the number 4 slot, which SOC was holding strong in for a good bit, and then boom, everybody's just, the big contenders are still showing who they are. Then the big contenders are using Garurumon X Antibody as their main source. So just taking a look at that, you also have, you know, everybody else coming in at 1s and 2s. We have Bunny Power getting more and more momentum and hype, even producing like Yellow-Green Rapidmon and a few other cool decks along the way. So it's kind of cool that it is happening like that, and a few decks actually that weren't really existing did come into play as well. Let me see if I can find it. Hercules Kabuterimon definitely wasn't in last week's, but it definitely got 3 tops, so it's kind of cool. And then Grandis also reappearing at 2, so keeping that in mind, like the low end is not bad, but if you take a look at the graph here, you can definitely see it in a more linear fashion of like what's going on. You kind of just see it going down pretty quickly, but there's a lot of decks that can do something, but let's get into each one bye. So first off, we're going to talk about Diaboromon because Diaboromon just showed and appeared this week, and I figured why not talk about it. There's some interesting card techs. We kind of know what the options do by now and kind of what the default low end is. So, and we know that their end game is produce a bunch of tokens and use Quartzmon to digivolve on top of your main one so that you have a suspended board just to trash a bunch of stuff. So, things that they added into the deck is Datamon first, which is quite interesting because this Digimon can't be deleted by your opponent's effects, so basically preventing it from being able to easily remove off the field. So hard playing him is not a bad trade-off, and then Datamon can just stick on the board and then you can climb up the following turn. Then they're using this Digimon called Vademon for on play. When digivolving, your opponent reveals the top 3 cards of the deck. You digivolve your opponent's Digimon for each Digimon card among them. Return the revealed cards to the top or bottom of the deck. Being able to disrupt your opponent's stack is huge in my opinion. So Vademon's really interesting. Then you have Gigadramon here for its on play. Reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 level 6 or higher Digimon among them to your hand. Place the rest of the bottom deck in any order. What's really nice is if you can slam him down like turn 2 after you've set up a memory tamer, and then following turn slam him down, most likely your opponent's not going to be able to answer him right away. So it's kind of cool to see this card here. It's only to search your megas, and they're using Mega Gargo Ace, which if you haven't known by now, this card is just really powerful. Being able to suspend 2 of your opponent's Digimon and or Tamers, then 2 of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers cannot unsuspend or digivolve until the end of opponent's next turn, can really create lockout situations, and then when a digivolving when attacking, you may unsuspend this Digimon. Is a really powerful card. Being able to prevent Digievolutions is really nasty, but seeing this in Diaboromon might be the wave going forwards if it continues to show good precedence. Now we do have this yellow Rapidmon deck, which if you guys haven't seen much of it, it's kind of interesting. So, as you know, Rapidmon definitely wants to play with Patamon sometimes, especially because they're split yellows. So you have Patamon here that is basically going to help digivolve into the Rapidmons in your security for free when it gets promoted up, or you can go with the old and tried and true method, is promoting the Patamon up. When an opponent's Digimon is deleted by having 0 DP, gain 1 memory. So it'll help reduce the cost of Rapidmon very easily, because You go into this one, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon for each tamer you have in play, then up to 3 of your opponent's suspended Digimon get minus 5,000 DP. It's Armor Purge, the classic tried and true method. Then you do have the new Rapid that is basically blocker, Armor Purge. When this Digimon becomes suspended, one of your opponent's Digimon and all their opponent's security Digimon get minus 4,000 DP until the end opponent's turn. So basically, minusing it down usually means you have favorable attack patterns, which basically 11,000 DP or less is most likely losing the trade in this. And then you have the new Rapidmon promo, search your security stack, add 1 yellow or black card with 2 or more cards among them to your hand. If you added cards, recovery 1, then shuffle your security stack. All your opponent's security Digimon get minus 2,000 DP. It's not a bad theme, and if you take a look here, they are running the TK, Izzy, you know, TKs to gain memory when you take a card out of security, TK that is basically going to search, you know, you got Judgment, and then the option 4 from there, and then you do have the Messenger of Hope, and all the good stuff going up there. I love the Lilymon Ace split, because using Rapidmon here, this Rapidmon here, because if you block first, and it survives, minusing 4,000 DP, you know, then you can just go into Lilymon and then get the other Digimon off if it's going to swing in too. So just really interesting, really kind of cool, neat deck, definitely in my opinion. So next deck we're going to talk about is going to be Blue Armor Rush. This deck has been seeing some play actually, so definitely got some tops over the last couple weeks, so definitely worth talking about it. All the old cards are still there. You know what you're going to be doing with the list. You know, armor is just basically swinging face, Armor Purge, swing again, swing again, swing again, swing again. You know, your main objectives are really here. You know, you're just going to apply pressure, hope your Digimon survives it, and then your opponent's just having a bad time. So main key new cards in the deck is X Antibody Protoform. This will help Digivolve your next one for a reduced cost of 1. So the fuller cost of Magna Mon X Antibody. Let's see, what is his cost? For 4, he becomes a 3 cost evolve with Protoform. So that's not terrible, especially if you want to do some crazy shenanigans. But Magna Insecurity, the new one from the starter deck, is de-Digivolve 1 Digimon at the end of the battle. One of your Digimon may Digivolve into this card without paying its cost. So it's not bad, because if you have a Vmon out that survived, it comes out to say hi. And then Magnamons, when Digivolving for each one of your opponent's Digimon has trash. Each color one of your opponent's Digimon has, trash that top Digievolution card, then return your opponent's Digimon without Digievolutions to the cards to their hand. So being able to bounce a card off the field by de-Digivolving it, really nasty, especially if it's just a one-of. That's pretty cool. Then you have Vmon here. Your turn, when this Digimon would Digivolve into a Digimon with free in its traits. If you have a tamer, reduce the cost by 1. So even reducing these guys further is really nice. And then when Digivolving, if this Digimon has 2 or more colors, draw a card. Really solid. And then you have Davis here that started main phase. If you have a Digimon with free trait, gain a memory, activate one of the following effects. You may play 1 Vmon from your hand without paying its cost, or one of your Digimon may Digivolve into X Vmon from your hand without paying its cost. You're most likely just playing the Vmon for free. That is what the goal is. But, you know, the extension that Davis gives is not bad. They're not playing Davis and Ken for the restand ability, but I get what they're trying to do here. Then we do have Filth, aka King Edamon Poopy deck. You know, this deck is very interesting to see from time to time, especially if it starts getting momentum. But they're using Ukamon in the recent list, which is kind of commonplace, especially because you want to promote your stuff up early. You know, using like Pawn Chessmon, you're not going to really be using it for anything else but to replay itself. But then you also have Miki and Megumin that says, on play, you may play 1 Pawn Chess in its name from your hand without paying its cost. And all turns, when you play a 2-color black and yellow Digimon by spending the tamer, draw a card, gain a memory. So that is really helpful, because what you're going to do is basically your whole deck is black and yellow. So it's not a bad pickup here. And, you know, you have a lot of cool tech tools that you're gonna want to use. Dupe. Let me get Edamon back. So let's take a look at one of the cards that was added, and that's this Edamon Targetmon. So it's really interesting. It's treated as a Suka and an Edamon blocker on deletion by trashing one card with Suka or Edamon in its name in your hand. Return this card to your hand. It's not a bad card to keep cycling. It's a good blocker. Then all turns when this Digimon would be deleted, delete one of your other Sukamons and names. Prevent that deletion. Not a bad trade-off. Keeps them on the board. You have Sukamon here that security at the end of battle, play it without paying its cost. And then one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP as it's on deletion. Then you have King Sukamon here. So when Digivolving, you may play one level 4 or lower Digimon with Sukamon in his name from your hand without paying its cost. And then when this Digimon would be deleted, you know, delete the Suka. Prevent it from leaving field. And then you do have King Suka, the good one. If your opponent has 16 or more cards in their trash, or you have 3 or more cards with Sukamon in its name in your trash, change one of your opponent's Digimon into a white Digimon with 3000 DP and original name of Suka until the end of opponent's turn. When attacking for each other Digimon with Suka in its name in play, this Digimon gets security +1 for the turn. So he becomes very nice to be able to swing in, especially if you can use the protection skill to prevent it from leaving play and make your opponent have a bad time. And then the new Meta Edamon. On play, when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers with a play cost 3 or less. For each Edamon or Suka in its name in your trash, add 1 to the cost you can choose with this effect. Can get crazy pretty quickly because we play a lot of Sukas. And then opponent's turn, when an opponent's Digimon attacks by placing one Edamon or Suka in its name from your hand at the top of your security stack, you may change the attack target to this Digimon or the player. Really interesting that you get to switch targets. So really some interesting, fun, janky decks, because we like to talk about jank. And then this took first place at a DC Grand Prix. So it won against the best deck of the format. I think basically what helped the deck carry itself was the Chikurimon, plus the Ukamons, plus the Chumons, just because it kept tempo and speed, and that really did help out. But because the Chikurimon made it so they can't reduce play cost, really sets them back, and especially because they can't hard play it very easily. It means they're passing you with a bunch of memory, which can help answer the threat on board, which is really good. You know, having Louis to be able to promote another rookie up really helps out. Sasuke's just in here for the Mind Link shenanigans it gets to do with jamming a reboot, so you can just take out more. And then, you know, you have Shin Mumsy. When Digivolving, place all level 3 Digimon face down on the top of their owner's security stack in any order. Then all your opponents level 4 or higher get minus 3000 DP and gain security attack -1 until the end of turn. And then when attacking by trashing one card with Nume in its name in this Digimon's Digievolution, place one of your opponent's Digimons face down at the bottom of the security stack. So, which is really good. Really good setup because you have a lot of Numes, but Shin being able to answer a Apocalypticmon very easily, because, you know, you get to place it if they didn't get a Craniumon underneath it, you just answer the threat. So it's really good, and you get it into a security stack, it's easier to answer. Then you have Platinum Numemon, so it's on play when Digivolving by trashing one card with Nume in its name in your hand, gain 2 memory. And then on deletion, you may play one level 5 or lower card with Nume or Mumsy in its name from your hand without paying its cost. Really solid. And then you have Woro Mumsy for on play when Digivolving by trashing one card with Nume in its name in your hand or from this Digievolution DD12 one of your opponent's Digimon. Then on play by placing one Nume in its name from trash as this Digimon's bottom Digievolution card. All your opponent's Digimon with a play cost 5 or less cannot attack players until the end of opponent's next turn. So basically a good protection skill, but the deck has potential, and I think it's very spicy. It's kind of cool to see like these really low tier decks, especially in a Grand Prix level event. Usually those are 32 players and usually classified one of the higher chase events that you want to do. So presenting it like this is huge. Especially I like that they use merciful mode to shuffle back pieces in the trash, especially if you need to get the Craniumon to the bottom of the deck. Really useful. So I think this has a lot of potential, and I'm really excited to see what happens going forwards, especially if people start learning on how to make these janky decks. Because, you know, who would have thought a Mumsay would win a Grand Prix? Not me, to be honest with you, but it's kind of cool that we're seeing stuff like this. So, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you next one. Peace!